Yesterday, we talked about Hassan Reddick and how I wanted people to take off the green goggles for a day and realize the Eagles are making a mistake by screwing around with Hassan Reddick. And just if you want to win a Super Bowl next year, their best chance to do that is with Hassan Reddick on the Eagles. And we both agreed on that. Mm-hmm. Which leads me to today, because I feel like and I fear that they're doing the same thing with DeVonta Smith. I can't figure out why DeVonta Smith isn't signed yet. And I hope the Eagles get a deal done this offseason. I don't need to worry about waiting another year, and just because they don't have to technically pay in this offseason, we don't have to pay him. The Eagles need to pay DeVonta Smith this offseason, Ike. Mm-hmm. And a couple of reasons why. One, and this is actually my biggest fear, is DeVonta Smith comes back next year. He's in an offense where, frankly, I felt he was already marginalized last year until the Dallas Goedert injury, and then he started going off a little bit, and obviously in the playoff game he went off with A.J. Brown out of there. I felt like DeVonta didn't get the ball as much as a normal wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 1B would. So now you have that on top of now Saquon Barkley being added to the mix. So DeVonta, Barkley, A.J., Dallas Goedert, they all got to get touches. And my biggest fear with the DeVonta thing is a year from now, DeVonta, I don't know, gets 700 yards, 800 yards, and is viewed as maybe the third option on the offense. Is that something he's going to want to sign up for long term and essentially sign his prime away for? So to take all that out of the question, I need DeVonta signed this offseason. I don't need him, maybe having buyer's remorse after going through next year where his role's a little bit depleted. And I would just rather take care of DeVonta Smith and take that first thing off the table.
Yeah, I think your overall premise is a good one. I mean, as far as wanting to have DeVonta here and locking him up and just sort of getting that out of the way, and you have to worry about him being here. I understand that. I personally don't think DeVonta Smith is going anywhere. I think they realize what they have in DeVonta Smith, not just from an on-the-field standpoint, but his demeanor, the way he carries himself. They drafted him. He's their guy. Former Heisman Trophy winner, has lived up to expectations, if not surpassed some people's expectations like mine. But at least he was a top 10 pick, and people viewed him as one of the top receivers coming out, and he hasn't disappointed from that standpoint. I think the Eagles realize what they have in DeVonta Smith. So if they are deciding – and I'll say this from DeVonta's standpoint. If the money ain't right, ain't no sense in me getting it done. Ain't no sense in me signing no deal right now. They got Landon Dickerson done early because Landon Dickerson is going into the final year of his deal. And they understand that these offensive linemen, particularly guards, salaries are starting to go up more and more. It's probably more likely than not than Landon Dickerson would be a 3-time Pro Bowler at the end of this season, potentially All-Pro. So you're going to either have to franchise tag him, which ties your money up until you get a deal done, or you're going to have to make him the highest paid guard in the league next year. So they got that out of the way. They made him the highest paid guard for a day, and then somebody else surpassed him.
That's how it works.
He got to be the highest paid guard in the NFL for a day.
His agent gets to throw that out there.
Yeah, he got to throw that out there.
So
they got Landon taken care of. With DeVonta, I mean, it's going to be interesting with DeVonta because I'm sure from a confidence standpoint, he believes he could carry the workload of just a true number one wide receiver.
Correct.
I'm pretty sure he does believe that.
And I would hope he would, frankly. And it's a small sample size, but at least in the playoff game this year, he was great.
Yeah.
You can make the case he's the best player in the field without A.J. Brown out there.
Yeah, and what did that get us? We still scored 9 points.
Absolutely nothing,
yeah.
but at least DeVonta went off.
Yeah. I still think they're here's the thing, and I like DeVonta. But how effective is DeVonta without having an A.J. Brown over? We saw it for one game. What does that look like for 17 games?
Sure.
When he's getting coverage rolled to him the entire game and everything else.
But you don't think that the Eagles are that's not deterring them from paying him this offseason?
No, I don't think that's deterring them from paying DeVonta. What could be deterring them or them getting the deal done is agreeing on a number. I mean, it could be. DeVonta may decide he doesn't want to do it right now. Unless you're giving him a number in a contract that he can say, you know what, I'm not missing out on anything. In other words, because when you sign early, you miss out on the opportunity of the bigger bag coming later. Now, also, signing early means you don't have to worry about it.
Which is what I don't want to worry about it.
Right.
I want to make sure DeVonta Smith is locked in. And the Hassan Reddick situation is actually making me more worried about it. Mm-hmm. Like, Hassan Reddick was asking for a new deal last year. Now, DeVonta's not being as out there, like, I want a new deal, I want a new deal, I want a new deal. But had Hassan Reddick been coming off his 17.5 sack season like he was after 2022, this year, he'd be getting paid. And now they're toying around with the idea of getting rid of Hassan Reddick, and a lot of people think Hassan Reddick might be out of here. I don't want that to happen to DeVonta Smith. I want DeVonta Smith to be here.
DeVonta's not going anywhere.
He's probably not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But
not for 2 years he's not going anywhere.
But even having to deal with heading into a lame duck season or his last year of his deal, just get that all out of the way. Like, the Eagles have to rebuild their culture here. And what happened at the end of last year happened. We don't need to rehash it. But I'm of the mindset where keep guys who are Eagles happy and feeling the love and making sure that you keep a guy like him around, because of all the guys on the team right now, I think DeVonta's the most Eagle-ish of the young players. And I want him around. I don't want him feeling like, they're really not going to pay me or they might not going to pay me. Get the DeVonta Smith extension done this offseason. Don't wait until next year. 215-592-9494. And on top of that, even if it costs them Justin Simmons or another defensive player out there, I think it matters more to get the DeVonta Smith extension done this offseason if it costs them a Justin Simmons or another defensive player to help on that side of the ball. I'd rather get the DeVonta extension done.
Yeah, that's where you lose me at right there. I could smell Justin Simmons right now, man. I'm telling you, we're close. We're close. I'm just saying we're close, man. Pause. But we're close. I just feel like we're close to getting Justin Simmons here in the Eagles uniform. I feel like if Howie is still in, which reports out there say the Eagles are still in, we're just working out particulars. We're working out incentives, things of that nature. How much money is guaranteed? Is it a one-year deal versus multiple years? As a matter of fact, Justin Simmons sitting at what age, 30?
30.
Yeah, Justin Simmons sitting at 30, I would give him a 3-year deal. I'm okay with giving him a 3-year deal, especially with 2 of the years being guaranteed to where you have him this year and potentially next year. He plays a position where he's more of a center fielder. He's not going to be in man coverage a lot. That's what you got CJ GJ for. You got other guys there that you don't have to worry about Justin Simmons being exposed from an athletic standpoint. His smarts and knowing where to be and understanding what offenses are trying to do and knowing Vic Fangio's defense is what's going to be a greater benefit to us. So to that, I would say, if it meant sacrificing signing DeVonta Smith this year to sign Justin Simmons, I'm signing Justin Simmons, and I'm holding off on DeVonta Smith.
Here's my thing. CJGJ's here. I know that they signed him as a corner, but we know he can play safety.
Yeah.
Like
Justin Simmons is a better safety.
Justin Simmons is probably a better safety. But maybe I'm scarred of the Byard situation. Byard was also labeled as an all-pro that was over the age of 30 as a safety that slowed down. I mean, I want Justin Simmons too, but it is a little concerning that he hasn't been signed yet. You know,
just money.
All of those guys have been out here for a little while.
That's money.
Sure, but also like it doesn't seem like there's a huge market for him. It seems like here are the Titans.
Well, if they were to take a deal where a team says they would pay you $3, $4, $5 million, they would already be signed already. So when a guy believes he's worth $10, $15 million and he won't budge off of that, then you're going to sit. I mean, that's until you budge off of your asking price.
215-592-9494.
I think Justin, that has more to do with Justin Simmons' asking price versus the type of player that he is. Now, the age is in there, so teams are kind of, okay, do I want to give him X amount of dollars for only a year or two? He still thinks he's worth this. And what normally happens is these guys wind up having to sign a 1-year deal.
Usually, especially the safeties now, because safety's a little weird thing going on with the safety position. Even if it costs them a guy like Justin Simmons, while I agree, would make next year's Eagles team better, I care more about getting a DeVonta Smith extension done, and I don't know what the Eagles are doing. It feels like they're playing with a little bit of fire here with the DeVonta Smith situation. I think he's a great Eagle. Get it done now. Don't screw around. 215-592-9494. Where do you come down on that